Here's You're the Expert with your host, Bill Polchinski.
All right, thank you, Leon, and welcome to the world premiere of You're the Expert. I'm your host, Bill Polchinski, and we're going to have some fun tonight. For the next 2 hours, you're going to get to meet and greet some of our local experts, people from around our viewing area who are going to come in and show us how to do stuff. That's the way the show works. It's going to be lots of fun. The first hour of the show, we're going to have people on doing stuff, showing us how to make things, do things, cook things, and while they're doing that, you can call in, you can give us a call, let us know, fax us. You heard the numbers, we'll be giving them to you again. You can let us know if there's anything you want to know or anything you want to share with us. Now, the second half of the show, the second hour, is all leisure activities. Again, as Leon said, our golf pro, Tom Berry, and our tennis pro, Rick Elstein, will be here with us tonight and every Friday night that we're on the air. Plus, we're going to have different leisure activities in the last half hour of the show every week. Tonight, it's hiking and biking on one of those rare TV opportunities when our leisure activities rhyme. Hiking and biking in Jingle Bell Squares. Now, you might notice that we have the same set here, if you've been watching all week long, Extra Help, the same set that our teachers and our EJs use, blackboards. They let us use the set because we needed a place to do the show. This is the studio. We wanted to do You're the Expert. They let us use the studio because, well, they weren't using it. The EJs weren't using it. The teachers weren't using it. The whiz kids weren't using it. Chuck Berg wasn't using it. Leon's not even using it. So they said, okay, you can use it on Friday nights. But there's a catch. There's always a catch. And part of the deal is that every week we have to answer some questions that weren't answered during the week. Now, as I mentioned before, this is live TV, and all week long we show our toll-free number, 1-800-EXT-HELP, and also our fax number, 516-596-0715. If you have questions for any of our experts or teachers or whiz kids or EJs, well, sometimes we get so many calls that we can't answer all the questions on the air. So, you made the call, you have a question, we're not going to let it go unanswered. So part of the deal is we're going to answer those questions right here on You're the Expert. Anything that wasn't answered during the week, you'll hear it here tonight. Also, later on, we're going to roll a videotape of the highlights of Extra Help from this week. So that should be lots of fun. So why don't I get right to the questions from this week. My first question comes from Arlene from the Bronx, and this was from the Consumer Issues Show. Arlene wanted more information on the model rebate scam. They were talking about the model rebate scam during Consumer Issues, and Arlene, what this is this scam is about contractors who promise to give you a $25 rebate for everybody they bring to your house to show what a great job they did. And you think, oh, that's great. I don't mind paying an extra $3,000, $5,000 if you'll bring in $25 a head to look at my kitchen. I don't mind. That's great. Well, the reality of it is they don't bring in any people to look at your house, and you pay the extra money. You don't get the rebates. That's how the model rebate scam works. No one ever comes to your house. Okay, Arlene from the Bronx, thanks for calling that one in. Another one from Consumer Issues, Anthony from West Hempstead. Anthony is a contractor, and he mentioned that sometimes 10 to 15% down on a particular project is not enough, especially if you need to buy bathroom fixtures or lighting fixtures, anything like that. And the answer to that, or further comment on that, Anthony, is sometimes you might have to pay a little more, but as a general rule, 10 to 15% is a good amount. Unfortunately, the consumer has to protect himself from the contractor who goes out of business or splits town, takes your money, and disappears. So that was for Anthony from West Hempstead. And now, a question from computers. The question is, it doesn't say who this was. They were probably anonymous. Question is, my mouse cursor is jumping. I love that. And is just unusable. What's wrong and what do I do? Oh, here's the name, Rudy from Malvern. Well, Rudy, erratic mouse behavior is caused by, not enough cheese, no. Installing a second mouse driver. Only one mouse driver is allowed. Number two, another erratic mouse behavior cause is a broken wire in the mouse cord. I hate when that happens. And selecting a different mouse drive in Windows than that of a mouse driver loaded in DOS. So Rudy from Malvern, hope that answers your questions about what's going on with your mouse cursor. Here's another question from computers. What does IDE mean? And that's for Ken from Yonkers. Thanks for calling in, Ken. IDE means Integrated Drive Electronics. You can see I rehearsed these things beforehand. I know them cold. What that means is the manufacturer of the drive also makes the controller for the drive and builds the controller on the chassis of the drive. One unit. I have no idea what I just said. Ken, I hope that makes it clear for you. And here's a question from Auto Repair. I watched The Bronx last night. It was great. Joe from West Hempstead had an idle problem in his car. The car would shut off when put into drive. What should he do? The answer? Bring it to the shop. Could be a sensor problem or throttle body service. That's Joe from West Hempstead. Try turning on the key, too. That would help. Let's see, a question for Auto Repair. Sheila from Valley Stream said her 1985 Buick Skyhawk makes a clicking sound under the hood. Might be a rattlesnake. The indicator lights show low oil and water, and the engine light was also lit. What's wrong? Aha! The answer is computer malfunction, or worst possible scenario is a blown engine. So Sheila, I hope you get that taken care of and looked at, and I hope it's not a blown engine. Oof, that could ruin your weekend. Here's a question from Home Repair. My friend Chuck Berg, who's watching tonight, munching popcorn in his couch. What can I do about stains on my hardwood floors? I don't know who this question is from, but they have stains on their hardwood floors. The answer is, first thing to do is try washing with a mild detergent a number of times. For about a week or so. No, a number of times. Mild detergent. Second, where stain meets regular floor, sand both areas and put down a new varnish. Third, hire a professional. You like that one. Another question from Home Repair. What can I do about a damp basement? And the answer is the only way to make it comfortable is to get a dehumidifier. Chuck mentioned last night dehumidifiers start at about $75 and they run up from there. So check it out, damp basement dehumidifier. You don't want to get everything mildewy and wilty and stuff like that. Let's see. Oh, here's a question from the pet show. You know, I had a question. I'm sorry I didn't ask Mark Marone the other day. We have this robin outside our house, and I think he's part robin, part kamikaze, because for some reason he's taking a liking to our picture window. Now, occasionally birds will fly in, you know, see the reflection of the sky in the background and hit the picture window. Ooh, that was dumb. But this bird just keeps doing it and doing it and doing it. Nothing can scare him away. We put pictures of birds in there, pictures of owls. Nothing scares him away. Mark, if you're listening, you can call in and let me know what to do about this robin. And it's not just the picture window. He went around the back of the house and he's trying to get in another window. Maybe he's trying to tell us something. What is it, boy? Okay. Question from Pets. What should a pet owner do to alleviate a dog's fear of humans? That's a tough one. And the answer is, first of all, don't lock up the dog when guests arrive. Keep the dog around, free to roam. Have the company give the dog a doggy treat so the dog can associate human contact as a normal life process. And if the dog starts dancing with their legs, then you have to take, some kind of action. Another question from Pets. What do I do about cat hair on the couch? And the answer is, go get cat repellent spray from the pet store and spray the couch. To humans, there should be a light to no odor at all. However, to a cat, their senses should pick up a distinct odor. This odor will repel the female... let me say that again. This odor will repel the feline away from the sprayed furniture. Okay, that's from the pet show. And now from the gardening show. The question is, what type of quick-growing shrub can I plant in the sun? And the answer is, a good quick-growing shrub is is it privat? P-R-I-V-A-T. Here you are. Oh, it's a privet. Thank you. I'm hearing voices. It's wonderful. Last question of the evening from the gardening show. Why can't I grow lawn under my maple tree? Is it a local ordinance or something? It's possible. But anyway, the answer is because it's too darn shady from the leaves on the maple tree during the summer, and the maple tree roots come too close to the surface and compete with the lawn roots. There's your answer. Those are our questions from the week, and we're going to get right underway with tonight's show. As we mentioned before, we have our maven of the egg cream here with us tonight, and we're going to learn how to make a real Brooklyn egg cream. And Angelo Morinelli will be here showing us how to make a panzanella salad. And on videotape, Cornelia Zanos is going to be working with phyllo or phyllo dough, showing us how to make Scandinavian apple strudel with Greek phyllo dough. It's wild. It's multicultural. It's like the UN right here in your living room. We're going to get to our first guest, but in just a minute, we're going to look at this. I'll be back.
I like this stuff because you can do things that usual museums wouldn't let you do.
You get to watch yourself on the news pretending that you're like a news person.
I played on the computers.
I like the part where we play with the bubbles because that was really fun.
I like the wheelchair where you sit down.
How was it, Joe?
Everyone was having fun.
That was great.
Thank you. I'm going to be on your
I'm
right
Dennis
side.
Denard. I'm a television quality control technician. What I do is follow up with customers to make
Okay.
sure that they were
Is the camera
satisfied
coming
with
to
the
me
work of our
first?
field service technicians. I asked them about their level of satisfaction and make sure that they were shown how to use the new remotes, cable converters, and VCRs. These follow-up visits help to ensure that our field service technicians are working to 100% customer satisfaction. I like knowing my job is helping to maintain a high standard in customer service here at Cablevision.
Welcome back to You're the Expert. I'm your host, Bill Polchinski, stage name. And I'd like to show you this magazine I found at a rock and roll show a couple of weeks ago, a rock and roll oldies show. It's called Remember When, the magazine, and I'm thumbing through inside, and they have a story on egg creams. Apparently 2 years ago they ran a big egg cream issue, and since I want to start the show with a little bit of controversy, I thought that we would discuss the fact that a lot of people have their own idea of how the egg cream should be made. Well, we have our own egg cream expert with us tonight. Please welcome to You're the Expert, our egg cream expert, Joe Varsalona.
Hey, Bill.
Hi, Joe. How are you?
All right,
Welcome.
great to be here.
You're our first guest.
I'm the very first guest.
Very
on
first
You're the
guest
Expert.
on You're the Expert. You're our first expert. You're going to be getting a little certificate.
Really?
Yeah, a little stuffed Barney and
Fantastic.
things like that.
Stuff Barney?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Perfect.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, of course.
Of course. So what do you have here for us?
All
What
right,
is all this stuff?
I have all the ingredients necessary to make a real, genuine New York or Brooklyn-style egg cream. I have your seltzer, or as we were going over before, Sheltzer. Can you say it?
Sheltzer.
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 Okay, very good.
Sheltzer. Give me Sheltzer.
Give me Sheltzer, that's
It was a
right.
Rolling Stones movie.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Now, you said a Brooklyn egg cream.
Yes.
Are you from Brooklyn?
Actually, my family's from Brooklyn.
Family's from
We're
Brooklyn?
from what used to be called Red Hook, and now it's Carroll Gardens. But then if we want to get fancy, we'll say Brooklyn Heights. So my mother always says Brooklyn Heights.
Wow.
So, but it's Carroll Gardens.
So you have authenticity here when you're
Absolutely.
talking about
Absolutely.
egg creams. Great.
But you know, actually the real egg cream was invented, I believe it was in Flatbush, by a man named James Auster. And it was invented on 3rd Street and Avenue D, if I'm correct, in the 1890s. So that was the first egg cream. What he was doing was, the guy owned a candy store,
Yeah.
and he was mixing some ingredients together, and he came up with what is now the genuine egg cream. Now, the funny thing about egg creams, though, is that it's really a fallacy. There's no egg in an egg cream.
I was going to
really
ask. I didn't see any eggs here.
There? No, there are no eggs.
No eggs, no
there's
cream.
There's milk, there's seltzer or
Seltzer.
And, of course, a real genuine New York egg cream isn't an egg cream without Fox's You Bet chocolate syrup.
You bet.
You know, you can use Hershey's, you can use, you know, any, Bosco. And I forgot what the other one was, but Fox's You Bet is a genuine.
That's the real deal.
That's the real stuff. So, and also, you know, there's a guy I know, his name is Lynn Lappin, and he tells me that there's one way to make an egg cream, but there are actually a number of different ways to make an egg cream.
Well, how do you make an egg cream?
All right. Well, first of all, I'm going to make my own style first, and then I'll show you the Lynn Lappin way.
Great.
What she says is the Second Avenue way.
The Second Avenue.
It's sort of like the Italians, you know, with different type of spaghetti sauces. Well, this is a different type of chocolate egg creams, or egg creams per se.
That's great.
Well, in order to make an egg cream, you need a real genuine diner glass.
And where did you get this diner glass?
From a diner, actually. Yes, I put it in my pocket.
Don't do this at home, kids.
Yeah, kids,
he's had a misspent youth.
Oh,
don't take things from diners.
Yeah. Ma, I'm sorry. No, I apologize.
Oh, she's crying right now.
I can see her right there. Anyway, the first ingredient that you have to start off making your chocolate egg cream is
milk.
Cold, 100% fat milk, because, you know, you got to have the fat. It's really important in an egg cream. So what I usually like to do is put, okay, let me move this here.
Pogs.
That's right. Save it for my nephews there. Put about 1/4 of an inch. It's also very sloppy, too, so I brought a mopina, or a towel.
Ooh.
So we'll put it there. That's Italian.
An official egg cream towel.
That's right, from my kitchen. So you put about 1 inch of milk. And then you get your seltzer.
Seltzer?
Shake it up. Now, what I love about this, is this is the old-fashioned seltzer kind. I found this at an old, like a beverage store. These two little old men still get the seltzer in the old bottle, or seltzer in the old bottle. And every time I go to pick up the bottles, they insist on lugging this heavy case. The guys are in their 80s, and yet they insist on carrying this heavy case out to the car. I said, I'll do it. They said, no, we're all right. We can carry it. So anyway, you get the milk. Now, the reason
look out.
There you go.
Oh, a little song, a little dance, a little seltzer. Down your pants.
No,
thanks.
later. We'll do it later at the end of the show. So what you're doing now is you're putting the seltzer in the milk to get a nice foam. Now, the point of an egg cream, actually the reason why an egg cream got its name egg cream was because of the foam that's on top of the drink. It looks sort of like an eggy meringue.
Egg white.
Yeah, egg white, exactly. So you
what
put
a
a little
meringue.
seltzer in there, and then you get your Fox's You Bet chocolate syrup. And actually, you know what I'm doing? I made a mistake there, Bill. I'm doing the Lynn Lappin way first.
You're an expert.
I know I'm an
mistake.
expert. I'm doing the wrong way first.
There goes your certificate.
Yeah. But anyway, you put the chocolate syrup in there, about 1 inch. If it's an 8-ounce glass, it's about 2 ounces of chocolate syrup, Fox's You Bet. You get a spoon. Move that.
Spoon.
Oh, it's a little hot in here. I can't wait to. What you got to do is you got to just spritz it in there over the spoon and let it gently land on top of the milk.
I like that.
And then you don't stir. You got to shake it. Give it another.
Oh,
spritz.
hey.
There, I told you, it's a little sloppy. And there you have your genuine Lynn Lappin Brooklyn egg cream.
That's beautiful.
And now Sandy and our crew says that you have to top it off with a salted pretzel stick.
Oh,
So
look at that.
There's your egg cream.
That is beautiful.
Just like I used to get when I was a kid at Pat's Deli for 10 cents.
Should I take a sip of this?
Absolutely. That's for you. That's for you.
Great. Poke my... Oh!
You all right? Don't poke your eye out.
Host loses eye in first show.
And now there's another way of doing it. This is the quick and easy method, and this is like a really chocolatey method. And this is for those of you who are not really too sure, who aren't too confident yet on how to make the that egg cream.
Do I take this out? Joe, would you like to take a phone call? Somebody is calling
Somebody actually is calling?
Yeah, the controversy begins.
The controversy begins. All right. Yes, caller.
Hi, Bob. You're on the phone, obviously.
Yes, I'd like to know what type of seltzer I could use.
Oh, you can use any seltzer. Well, actually, the best kind of seltzer is the kind that you get in these glass bottles made in Czechoslovakia in the 1920s. And you can probably see them at antique stores or whatever, but you have to find a place that refills them. I know that there's a place in the Bronx that does it. I don't know the address offhand. But this is the best kind. Or what you can do is you can go to places like Fortune Offs or any Macy's, and they sell the ones where you put the little CO2 cartridges
CO2
in
cartridges,
there.
right.
Yeah, and
So club soda won't work.
club soda doesn't work. Club soda makes a very, it just
How about if
doesn't
you
taste
shake
right.
it up and spritz it right in there? Would that
What do you
work?
mean?
You know,
Wait,
shake
hold
up a
on,
bottle of...
speaking of that, I got to freshen that up.
Oh, thank you. Freshen that up for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What do you mean shake it up? Like,
Oh, like if you have a bottle of club
Is that a
soda
song?
and you
Is that a pop song, right?
shake it up.
yeah.
Shake it. This is a musical
Well, you
segment.
could do it,
and
but
then
club soda
spritz
really
it in there.
doesn't work. But what you can do is either get these bottles, get the bottles like you can get at Macy's, or you can go to your store and buy for like 33 cents a liter of seltzer. That's the other thing, is that don't buy the 2-liter things of seltzer, because I noticed that they don't really stay that fresh and that fizzy. So a 2-liter, or even the little bottles of seltzer, because you really don't need that much seltzer to make a chocolate egg cream. Or what else you could do is, no, I told you already. You can go to the store and just get it in the liter bottle.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Bob. You're our
Bob.
first caller, and you'll also be getting a certificate.
That's right. You'll also get
He's
a little
gone.
spritz.
A little spritz.
All right, so what was I doing? Okay, so this is the quick and easy way to make a chocolate egg cream. It works
Down
just as
and
well,
dirty.
but you really don't get that nice white foam on top that really makes it the
Great.
egg.
This is like being at Club Med. They
That's
follow
right.
you around to freshen up your egg cream.
So what you do is you put about an inch of milk in an 8-ounce glass. It's usually about 2 ounces, an inch of chocolate. Boxes, you bet. About 2 ounces of chocolate. Top it off with about equal amount of milk, and then just hit it with seltzer. You still get the foam on top, but it just doesn't have, it's not as nice a presentation, but it still tastes just as good. As a matter of fact, it's so hot in here, I think I'd have a sip myself.
Hey.
Cheers.
Like I am.
Like I am. Mazel tov.
Like I am.
That's good. Oh, I forgot this.
Oh, yeah. That really
So-
makes it good call, Sandy.
All right. Now, you know, people are saying, I was saying before about egg creams and how there's no egg in it. It's pretty much just the foam that people call egg cream. But there was an actor, a Yiddish actor named Boris Tomaszewski. I did some research on egg creams before I came here, and I read that too.
Looks like I punched you in the lip there.
Thank you.
Some egg cream
Thank you.
stuff.
Mom, keeping clean. Anyway, this guy, Boris Tomaszewski, came to the United States in 1890. Actually, he went to France in 1890. Had this drink called chocolate egg cream, which was
cream.
chocolate with cream.
Oui.
Drank it, loved it. It basically was chocolate milk. Came to the United States and called it chocolate egg cream because it sounded like egg cream, chocolate egg cream, egg cream.
Hey, cream.
So
What do you need?
that's how it sort of, you know, the name sort of carried on there.
All right.
So that was Boris, and then this guy Louis Oster had this candy shop, and he made it. He also had a secret ingredient for the chocolate sauce.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was the guy died in 1955, and they used the last amount of.
Oh,
of the
I
secret.
read that somewhere.
Yeah.
Yes, that's very interesting.
1974 was the last time that they.
See, they should have done
the
like
last bit of chocolate syrup.
Coca-Cola. They should have kept all the executives off, you know, different planes. Anyway, Joe, I want to thank you for being our first
sure. Wait,
guest.
hang on a second. Let me just clean this out here.
Oh, it's
Got it.
spritz time.
I love this. Is great too with your friends. You know, you're having a party. You can spritz your friends. Well,
great.
thanks a lot. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe. Joe Varsalona, our egg cream maven. Hope you come back again with,
Sure, I'd love
with some
to.
more fun stuff. Right now, we're going to meet a man on videotape and in the studio, Angelo Morinelli. He's an incredible story. He gave up his profession as a diamond cutter to get into the restaurant business. Well, I have an uncle who's a diamond cutter. He mows the lawn
I
at
knew you were
Shea
gonna say that.
Stadium. You knew I was
I
going
knew
to
you were
say
gonna
that.
say that.
Anyway, Angelo is here, and on videotape, he's going to show us how to make a panzanella salad. Take it away.
Good evening. This is Chef Angelo preparing this evening a special panzanella salad. Ingredient tonight we're going to use fresh plum tomato, basil, red onions, cucumbers, fresh mozzarella, and most important, Italian old bread, 1 day old toasted bread. We're starting off with toasted bread, which we're going to place it in a plate. Cut, as you can see, in small chunks, toasted. We'll put them in a plate. Next step is we're going to take the fresh plum tomato. We're going to slice it in half, and then keep on slicing in small, thin slices. The amount of recipe that we're going to do tonight may be for 2 or for 4 people. In this moment we're using 2 tomatoes, A thin slice. We're going to place this in the same dish that we put the Italian bread toasted. Now we're going to take the fresh homemade mozzarella, cut it, and then cut them in small, again, slices. Small slice, like this. That's plenty for 2 people, almost for 4. And just cut them in small pieces like this. And then put them all again in a plate over the toasted bread. Now we get into the cucumbers. Thin slice of cucumbers. Again, you could have small bite or big bite. We're going to use small bite. Cut them in half, like this. And again, put them also over the bread. Just like this. Very simple. Red onions. Most important is the red onions. It has a delicacy, has a special flavor, has a different flavor than the regular onions. It gives spices to the food. Thin slice, again, just like this. The amount of the onions also comes from the decide. It's how much you like red onions. And just put it right over, like this. And come to the basil, fresh basil. Just cut the leaves. You can just chunk it up if you want to, or you can leave the whole basil. And just put them right over, like this. Now you add a pinch of salt, virgin olive oil. Again, quantity, it's all up to what you like. And a touch of balsamic vinegar. Again, it's how much you like. Fork and spoon for you utensils to move the whole thing around. Now remember that the bread is a little bit toasted, so if you to add a little bit of extra olive oil, a little bit of extra vinegar, it won't do you any bad because it will be soaked by the bread. It gives extra flavor. Once this is all done, you can enjoy it, and this is the finished product. Enjoy it. Bon appetit. Thank you.
Nice job, Angelo. Wow, that is great. What a story. Angelo Morinelli, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you for being one of our experts. And by the way, if you're going to call in, the number is 1-800-EXT-HELP. Any questions for Angelo? Very interesting story about Mr. Morinelli. Came to this country in 1969 and had a job on the Diamond Exchange and gave it up to become what?
Work in the kitchen, a chef.
Before that, though, what did you do?
I was working in the diamond industry and trying to cut diamonds, which was very difficult.
Yes.
So, and didn't work for me, so there was, I had to find a new way, another way to do a living, and the kitchen was my next step, and that's how I did it.
And you left the diamond industry and came to the kitchen as a dishwasher.
As a dishwasher, yes.
Started
Well,
as a dishwasher.
Yep,
Unbelievable.
that was 25 years ago.
25
in
years
the same
ago.
place where I started, that now it's that I own now, and it's in Mineola. Like you said, in the restaurant in Mineola, 109 Mineola Boulevard. And I did start as a dishwasher, and I had my opportunity that one of the chefs was sick one day, and they asked me if I wanted to learn how to cook. So I said, why not? And that's how we went from that. So I worked my way up in a way that now I could teach somebody else.
That's unbelievable, working your way up from dishwasher to chef to owner, manager, and as you say, nurturer, because you run the whole restaurant with love, I understand.
Yes. You have to, this kind of work is, once you work in the kitchen, it has to come from the heart. It has to be something that you have to do it because you enjoy doing it. And as I said, if it's good enough for you, it has to be good enough for the customer. So that's what I do. I enjoy doing very much.
And you also do charitable work in the community, I understand, around the holidays?
Yes, we do. We every year, the day after Christmas, we sponsor a free dinner for the senior citizen. They are picked by lottery, and usually it's a group of about 25 people. They all come in, and all beautiful people. You should see them. They come in, and it's very nice. You could just see that the way they act, and they're very pleasant, and so they come in and they enjoy the dinner. You know, it's not, you know, whatever we want to serve them. It's usually a nice dinner, and they're so nice. And you just think that someday we're going to be like that. And my father is the kind of age also, and it's nice. Wow. And the next day, 2 days later, you know, they send you all this little card, you know, thank you note and stuff like that. It's nice. It's a nice nice feeling to do something for the elders.
And it's nice of you.
We did it. We started doing this a long time ago. We're doing it, and we're going to do it, you know, for the future. And also, it's nice. It's just that a sign for the old people.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now tell me about panzanella salad. How did that start? How did you...
Panzanella salad was, it's a salad that anybody can make. Mm-hmm. It's, like I said, when we were in Italy a long time ago, and sometimes you only had old bread, 1 day old bread, and we live in used to live in the periferia, we call it, outside the country, outside the city, and fresh tomato, and it was always available, and we had, you know, fresh mozzarella, so that's how we created. But actually, the original version of the panzanella salad was not done in a plate just the way I demonstrated in the kitchen. It was done, the slice of tomato and the slice of mozzarella was placed on a slice of bread. As I said on the tape, to use old, 1 day old bread, brick oven bread, because in Italy the bread is about this big, we call it Neapolitan bread, and the slice is about 4 inches wide, about 10 inches long. And you will place the slice of fresh tomato and the slice of mozzarella with the basil, and then you spray a little bit of olive oil on top, and then if you know, depending on how hungry you were, you could put another slice, and then you make like a hero sandwich out of a mozzarella, tomato, and that's how it was created. But, you know, come here and then you try to bring some of the old recipe from Italy. To serve that into a nice restaurant, it would not look good. So we tried to put them in a plate, and with that, you know, you add whatever the taste of this country is, you know, basil, then you slice some onions with that, and then you try to use a better olive oil, virgin olive oil, you know.
Sounds delicious. Looks delicious.
Thank you.
We have a...
You gotta come and try it.
Oh, I will. Now that I've met you in person, this is great.
You.
I understand you're up for the Entrepreneur of the Year
award.
That's
yes, I am.
The best of luck. You have my vote.
Thank you.
We have a caller on... It's John.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, John.
Hi, how you doing? I'm from Limburg. I have a question. Did you ever notice how when a new restaurant opens and it seems to get real popular for a while, and then it sort of levels out? You can't get in the first couple of weeks. And is that because, are there like trends in food? Do people get all crazy over a certain kind of food, and, you know, like they do in fashion and stuff, or is it just if it's good food, people come?
Well, we are not new in the area. We're there for 25 years. But again, when you open a new restaurant, a lot of people want to try because maybe try to do something different. But again, like a salad is a salad and pasta is pasta. It's just how you put them together and how you want to serve it, and the amount also you want to serve it. If you want to have like a, you know, like a to share 1 for 2, 1 for 1. But again, sometimes it has a lot of people goes. I really don't know what to tell you about that, because I don't know. It could be the area. It could be, you know, many things.
Also, do you find that I find there's not a lot of good Northern Italian restaurants around? They seem to be a lot harder to find than the regular traditional, you know, red sauces and stuff like that.
Well, again, what I'm trying to emphasize in my restaurant is I call it Northern Italian restaurant, but I also say nouvelle specialty. What I mean by nouvelle specialty is whatever we can find fresh on the market, and that could be from a vegetable market to a meat market to a fish market. Again, we do have a menu. It's very we have an extensive menu, and for us to carry everything on the menu, okay, it's impossible. It's quite impossible. So that's why we use the word nouvelle. Okay, to emphasize, let's say the fish market calls us the night before. So, you know, tomorrow we have a load of red snapper, halibut, or fresh farm-raised bass. So we make our menu according to what we could get fresh from the market, because we cannot keep the same quality if you want to keep it, because some of the fish, some of the quality, some of the meat, some of the cut you want to use, they are not available all the time. I mean, you can use it, but then you're going to have to go deeper in your freezer and stuff like that. But we try to avoid it, to present a quality dish that you can see them on a plate.
Oh, great. That sounds great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, John. Thanks for calling. And I wanted to say, I really like your hat. I've been admiring it.
Well, I started with a 7-inch, now it's getting to a 9-inch, but I'm working for the 12-inch, so see how it is.
Is that like in karate when you
right.
work your way
the
up?
Longer, right.
A taller hat. That's incredible.
Thank you. You want one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh, if you have one, sure, send it. I'll wear it.
Why not?
I'm fearless.
See, I should have brought an extra one tonight for you.
I would have put it on. We would have been twins.
That's right.
Are there any other specialties that you really love to make?
Well, for example, this weekend we're working on ossobuco, which is, again, it's ossobuco. It's a dish that is predominantly done all over Italy, from the southern part to the northern part. Again, if you go in the southern part, they're using a little bit of heavier sauce, a richer tomato sauce. You go in the northern part, then it's a little bit lighter. It's used a lot of vegetable. But you don't see the vegetable once you cook, because you try to steam the vegetable and then you pass them in a puree. You puree the vegetable, and then you put it back in the sauce. So now when you pour the sauce over the ossobuco and you serve with a little bit of pasta, you don't see the vegetable, so pureed. So we call it lighter. But when I mean lighter, there's no cream inside, there's no butter. Whatever sauce it's made out of is whatever, when you cook in the ossobuco, you know, the veal shank, it's whatever reduction of the amount of the water, the amount of things that you put them in, done into a puree type of thing.
Wow. We have a caller on the line. We have Iris from Brooklyn. Iris.
Hi.
Hello.
Well, my question was for the chef. I've always wanted to learn how to make fresh mozzarella, and I don't know how to do it. I've never found it in any cookbook or anything.
Well, there is very little to do. If you want to start from zero, from milk, okay, it's very difficult in this country to do that. But there's a very easy way to do it. In the supermarket now, I think it's Polio, puts up a curd. It's called. It's a frozen mozzarella in a plastic bag. How you do the fresh milk? You buy the curd, okay? You have to boil water, okay? Very, very hot. Then you put the curd inside this hot water. Add a little bit of salt, and you have to play with it, like if it was like a rubber ball.
Right.
And you could see it that it's getting bigger and bigger, and it expands and expands and expands, and it changes colors doing that. Okay? Once it does that, then you can see the consistency of the mozzarella. If you want them lighter, or if you want them thicker, or if you want to have make like a long mozzarella for a cut, or if you want to make a round piece of mozzarella like you find them in the department store, in the store. But the thing is, you have to buy the curd. You have to have the hot water, very boiled, very hot. And again, it's very hot because then you're going to burn your hand. And again, you have to have it hot water and a cold water with ice, because once you have the curd in hot water and you start mixing, you make those little balls, then you have to automatically put them in a cold water, because you have to almost freeze them, because that's how it stays like that.
So what you're saying is that I can't make it at home, probably.
If you want it, you can make it home if you buy the curd. Yes, you can.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Iris. Thanks for calling. Thanks to all our callers, and I'd like to thank you, Angelo, for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure meeting you, and keep up the good work, and we'll see you at La Cisterna in Mineola.
Thank you. Anytime.
Right now,
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
Actually, I say 8 days a week.
Just like the Beatles.
That's right.
Now we're at the part of tonight's program that I enjoy the most. It's dessert time. Now, tonight we're going to get a little taste of Greece. Hey, I said no fast food. No. Taste of Greece. Desserts made from phyllo dough. Now, phyllo, or phyllo dough, originated in the Mideast, but the people who found a use for it were the Greeks, and it became a daily staple in Greek diets. And if you get a staple in your diet, send it back immediately and ask for the manager. Thank you. The most popular Greek phyllo products are spinach pie, baklava, and cheese triangles. Now, as the years passed, other ethnic groups began to work with phyllo as well. An example of this are the Scandinavians who use phyllo to make their apple strudels. Let's go into the kitchen right now with Cornelia Zanos and learn how to work with phyllo dough.
I'm going to show you working with phyllo dough. Phyllo dough is fun and easy. Sometimes phyllo is pronounced phyllo. You can buy phyllo dough in the supermarket, in the frozen food department. It also comes fresh, chilled, in ethnic Greek delis. What I'm going to show you this morning is apple strudel. You must remember that phyllo is very delicate. You must work quickly. The first thing you do after you remove the phyllo from the package is place it over 2 sheets of wax paper and a damp towel. Then place another sheet over the phyllo dough to help keep it moist, and then another damp towel over that. I'm going to start now to brush a sheet of phyllo with butter. Always use sweet butter. Place the phyllo sheet on your counter. Brush it gently with butter. Use a soft bristle brush. Place a second sheet over the first one. Brush that with butter. Dust it with about a tablespoon of zwieback, which is crumbs. Place a third sheet over the zwieback. Brush that with butter. And then put about a cup of apples that has been prepared with raisins, chopped nuts, there you are. Fold the sides over. Brush the sides with butter. It may seem like you're using a lot of butter, but you're not going to eat the whole zwieback, the whole apple strudel. Gently roll this. And then place that on your baking sheet. Brush the top with melted butter. At this point, you can freeze it. You can score it. Scoring means just making slash marks on the top. At this point, you can freeze it. Another favorite dessert are individual pieces of baklava. They are not as sweet, and they can be made in advance. They are really easy, even though they are a little time-consuming. You will, again, brush the sheet with butter, sweet butter. Always use sweet butter when baking. Use a heaping tablespoon of chopped nuts with a little sugar and cinnamon added. Fold your phyllo in thirds. Place a dowel. Roll it gently. Do not roll it tightly, then you won't be able to sure it. Push your fingers together on the dowel. Place them on your tray. Butter the tops with butter. You can also freeze or store them in the refrigerator for a week. The day that you bake these is the day that you will make your syrup and drench them in the sugar syrup. I will bake these at 375 for 40 minutes. And now for our finished product, we have the apple strudel that has been dusted with powdered sugar after the strudel had cooled. We have our triangles, our cheese triangles, and we also now have the individual pieces of baklava that has been drenched in sugar syrup.
Thank you, Cornelia. That looks delicious. Dessert, panzanella salad, egg creams. We have everything we need. Why go home? We have a caller on the line, Gary from Brooklyn, to ask a question for Joe Varsalona about egg creams.
Hi, Gary.
How you doing?
All right, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
So what do you want to know about an egg cream?
Yeah, I had, it's called egg cream, but you don't use no eggs. Why?
No eggs. Strictly milk, seltzer, or sheltzer as we said here before, and chocolate syrup.
Oh, but why'd you call that cream?
Well, because the original recipe was, well, actually what I just made, milk, seltzer, and chocolate syrup, and what it did was it kind of made like a foam on top, like a meringue. And so people thought it was egg cream. You know, so that's how it got the name egg cream.
Oh, that's the only reason.
Okay.
All right, then. Hi, Mom and Dad.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
I love show business. Thank you, Gary. Thanks for calling.
Thank you, Gary.
We have another caller on the line, I believe.
You there?
Angel from the Bronx. Hello, Angel.
How you doing?
Hi, Angel.
All right.
You have a question for?
Yes, for the guy with the egg creams.
Yes, hi,
Angel. Egg
Angel.
creams.
All right. What I wanted to know, can you use other flavors besides chocolate?
Oh, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I was going to bring him in today, but it just got too much stuff to carry. There's the company that I told you, Fox's Gobetz syrup. They make the chocolate syrup. Well, they also make cherry syrup and lemon syrup and vanilla syrup. Matter of fact, when I was a kid, I really couldn't have chocolate, so I used to have vanilla egg creams. And it's, again, the same measurement, about 1.5 inches or about 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces of syrup. Top it off with milk or seltzer, depending on where you're from. And then, you know, spritz it with the seltzer and the milk, and you got yourself an egg cream.
All right.
Okay.
Okay,
So go
thank
out and
you.
get it. Where are you from?
He's gone.
Oh, well.
Also, last caller, we also talked about using coffee time in there, coffee egg cream.
That's right. You can make coffee time, coffee egg creams too. Or if you want to make a quick, you can get Manhattan Special and then top it off with seltzer too. And a little milk there. That's really good too.
Yeah, we have
nothing beats the chocolate egg cream.
We have another caller, Jim from Freeport. Hi, Jim.
Hi, yes. When I'm cooking, you know, with oil, what oil do you prefer to use for taste-wise and fat-wise? For the chef.
When you're cooking, use what kind of oil?
When I'm cooking, what oil do you prefer? What oil should I be using? Like, what's the best fat-wise, and taste-wise?
Oh, what's the best fat?
Virgin olive oil.
What?
Virgin olive oil.
Thank you very much. Yo, peace out, homeboy.
Virgin olive oil.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Any questions you have for each other?
Sure.
Well, you can hold that question because we have Debbie from East Hampton. She's out on the deck watching this surf pound in. Hi, Debbie.
Yes, hello. I'm watching you on TV, and your show is great.
Are you watching from a limo?
No, I'm not, no. I just want to, while I'm on the line here, I just want to make a comment to the gentleman with the egg creams. I think it's great that there's a resurgence of egg cream.
Yes, well, thank you.
My dad was from Coney Island in Brooklyn, and he used to always talk about egg cream and Fox's You Bet.
You know, it's funny. It's such a simple thing, too. I mean, milk, seltzer, and chocolate syrup.
But it's just so great because I'm from Staten Island, and I'm from the city, New York City. So it just is great to see that there's a resurgence of New York City foods and beverages out there coming back.
It's a real New York drink. And the funny thing is that they tried bringing back egg creams in the street, like egg cream vendors, but I guess it just didn't work out. It's a shame. But you know what goes great with an egg cream?
Well, salted pretzel, I can't believe it.
Pretzel, I know. And then it's something like really greasy. Actually, you know, I was going to ask you about like what type of oil to put on your foods that you can eat with an egg cream. But a grilled cheese sandwich and a pickle and an egg cream, nothing beats that.
Oh, God, right?
It's a mahaya, as they say.
Oh, that's really great. Thank you. Also, I wanted to ask Mr. Morinelli, what is the name of his restaurant?
La Cisterna Restaurant.
La?
Cisterna, C-I-S-T-E-R-N-A.
Okay. I'm going to have to come sometime and visit you.
Thank you very much.
Looks delicious.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good luck with the show, and good luck to both of you.
Thank you, Debbie. Tom from Brooklyn, you're on the phone.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Question for the egg cream man.
There's a lot of egg cream people here.
Yeah, they were good.
Hey, yeah, of course they are.
Yeah.
What's up, Tom? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. What's up, Tom?
Okay. The problem I had with the egg creams, and I'm one of the best in making them.
Oh yeah, really?
Okay, but I used to get delivered the old-fashioned seltzer bottles.
Yeah, like what I have here.
Right. I can't find these anymore.
Okay.
Now, I try to buy over-the-counter seltzer in a bottle. It just doesn't work.
No, not at all.
You need that seltzer in those bottles to get a good egg cream.
Absolutely.
Can you give me some hints on
Where are you calling from?
Brooklyn.
You're calling from Brooklyn. All right, there's a guy in Manhattan called, and funny we should talk about it, Gimme Seltzer is the name of the guy. He's in Manhattan. And on Long Island, there's a guy called Mr. Seltzer, who's all the way out, I think he's in Islip. Both of them deliver, but I don't think they deliver to Brooklyn. But these places, yeah, you know what's happening is that these bottles are made out of genuine Czechoslovakian glass from the 20s. And people are keeping them. They're antiques. You see them in antique stores all the time. And the other thing is that, I don't know if you saw the top on them, they break very easily. And people don't know how to repair them. Now, I think the guy at Gimme Seltzer, actually, I think both guys have like plastic replacements. I mean, it still works as well, but it, you know, it doesn't work the same. And where I get mine from is a place called Hoffman Brothers on, they're in Franklin Square. But I think they're selling the business, and it's kind of hard to come by.
Yeah, they're just going out. Yeah. I have 2 cases of these empty ones.
Yeah.
And,
hang on to the cases of the empty ones.
But I haven't had a good A-cream since I used the last bottle of seltzer.
Well, you know what? I'll leave a couple bottles here, and you can come down and you can prove to us that you're the expert at making A-creams, and maybe we'll have a battle or whatever, you know, battle of the A-creams.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Appreciate talking to you.
My pleasure. Cheers.
Thank you. Yeah, egg creams. I used to get them in the Bronx after school.
Oh, yeah.
And the Bronx egg creams were, you know, not as good as Brooklyn egg creams, but they did the job in those early days. Well, both of you seem to put your heart into all of your creations. Your specialty is egg creams, and your specialty seems to be everything.
You have to do it. You got to believe in what you're doing.
That's very important.
Yep.
What I like about these A-creams is that it brings me back to my childhood when I used to go, there's a place, Pat's Deli, in Valley Stream, and for 10 cents I used to get an A-cream. It was great.
10 cents.
10 cents.
10 big ones, or 15 cents if you wanted a, you know, extra large.
Or the pretzel.
Oh, the pretzel,
The pretzel was 5 cents extra.
Yeah, I never had it with the pretzel. This is great.
It's good. Yeah.
This is great.
I forgot about that.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Sweet with salt, it goes along.
That's right.
Yeah. Louise from Valley Stream, you're on the phone.
Hi, how are you all? You know, in Brooklyn, in the candy store where we used to hang out, when we were always getting our egg creams, we would get a spritzel of cream on top.
Ooh, that sounds
outrageous.
I know. But you know, it's funny though, A-creams are like marinara sauce. My father used to have this thing about marinara sauce where, like, marinara sauce is just simple sauce. Well, an A-cream is just a simple thing. I mean, it's chocolate syrup, milk, and seltzer. Can't put anything else in it, but that does sound delicious.
Yeah, they named it after my boyfriend at the time, who's my husband now, Joe's Cream.
I'm sorry? What did you call that?
Joe's Cremo, instead of the egg cream.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was really good. It's good to hear about it again. Also, 2 cents plain.
Yeah, 2 cents plain, that's right. 2 cents plain is 10 cents now.
Okay, bye-bye. Good luck.
Bye-bye, thank you.
Okay, we have another call. Bill from Riverhead. Hi, Bill.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how you doing?
I have actually 2 questions. One is for the chef. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name real quick, but I always wanted to know why chefs wear those big white hats, besides keeping hair out of the soup or something.
To distinguish ourselves. To protect from anything falling to the plate, most important.
And also, on the egg cream, is there a special chocolate to use, or can Nestle's or any kind of Hershey syrup? Or
you can use Hershey's, you can use Nestle's, you can use Bosco. But the best is Fox's You Bet. That guy, Oster from Brooklyn, the guy who supposedly invented the A-cream, the real one that we're drinking right now, made his own syrup. And like I was telling Bill before, the syrup ran out, and the guy died in 1955.
That's when I was born.
The family had this supply of like secret syrup. It ran out in 1974, but people say that Fox's You Bet is the closest to the genuine chocolate A-cream syrup.
I've seen it at my local King Cullen.
Yeah, Fox's You Bet, they're still around. And you can also get a little pump on top, too. You can squirt it out like the fountain style.
Costco used to have it, I think, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, a little pump?
Yeah.
Cocoa Marsh.
That's Cocoa Marsh.
That's going way
that's
back.
An old one. I don't see that no more.
No, you won't see that anymore. No, that's for sure.
Was that the one with the little lion on top?
Yes.
Yeah, Cocoa Marsh.
I think so, yeah.
Bill, thanks a lot for your call.
Thanks, guys.
Take care. And Joe and Angelo, I'd like to thank you for being on our first show. You made it happen. Thanks so much for sharing your expertise with us.
I didn't expect there was that much of a love for egg creams. I thought I was the only guy.
No, egg creams, big business. And Italian food, Roman food, big business. Coming up in our next hour, leisure activities. We're going to have our golf pro, Tom Berry, and our tennis pro, Rick Elstein, with us, as well as 2 guys who are doing hiking and biking and Jingle Bell Squares. And as I promised earlier, we're going to have the highlights of Extra Help. And they're coming up right as soon as we... Here they go.
When we got Barney from the pound, he had incredible gingivitis. Now, gingivitis is a gum disease that dogs get. If we can get a focus on his teeth here, you'll notice that his gums have receded way, way back. His teeth really are not this big. It makes him look ferocious. Yeah. But you see that his gums have receded way back because they were actually rotting there. So by taking him to the veterinarian anesthetizes the dog and scales his teeth just like a human being does with a high-pressure water. If you take the dog's teeth and brush them like this every day, he's not going to think it's a problem. Plus, the toothpaste tastes really good from a dog's point of view. I've never tasted it myself, but it's beef flavored. Now, just by, we can get a focus on his teeth. Now, just by spreading the toothpaste on his gums like that and on his teeth and going in a circular motion, see, he actually likes it because the toothpaste tastes so good. Now you'll notice his gums are starting to get red. Okay, that's because he just came from the pound, believe it or not, about 3 weeks ago. So his gums are still in horrible shape. But by doing it every day like this, we're not going to have a problem. Whoops. Barney will have a problem, he falls off the table. By brushing his teeth every day like this, you're not going to have a problem. If the dog's teeth get too rotted, they're going to fall out, causing gum infections, and that can actually kill a dog because if the infection gets into his bloodstream, then he can actually get a heart attack and die from that. So it's very important that we clean his teeth every day. Now see, the gums are pink and bleeding. That just goes to show you how bad his gums were at one time. We brought Barney on here to show this because a lot of people have dogs with this kind of a problem and don't know about it. By doing this every day, you're not going to have a problem like this. You see how his gums have receded here, now they're bleeding.
So that dog toothpaste has no irritant in it that is going to hurt the dog?
No, not at all. All it really is an enzyme, and by making the flavor there, the dog is going to stand still long enough for you to keep brushing his teeth like that.
And how long should you brush his teeth?
It's just a matter of rubbing it all over his teeth in that respect. You should do it every single day if you have a dog with a problem like this. If your dog has normal teeth and you take it to the veterinarian, you get the teeth scaled once a year, once a week should suffice. What kind of a dog do you have?
A golden retriever.
Yeah, dogs with really soft, mushy lips like this tend to accumulate a lot more tartar than dogs that have a much tighter mouth, like a German Shepherd would have. But a loose-lipped dog will definitely have more problems with his teeth than a dog with tight lips in that respect. So it's just prevention. A toothbrush and toothpaste cost nothing in a pet shop. All right, by doing this every week, you're going to prevent a big bill to happen to have the dog's teeth extracted when he gets to be 8 or 9 years old.
Okay.
Now that I have shown you the basic parts under the hood of the car, let me show you where they're located to give you an exact reference. All these parts are generally located on all makes and models in the same location. They all function and work exactly the same. To start with, you have our master cylinder. We have fluids here that have to be checked on a regular basis. Working over our battery. Be sure never to touch the two terminals with any type of tool or wrench that could cause a short circuit and possible explosion of the battery. We have our engine coolant bottle. This is our overflow, where we keep a reserve of radiator coolant to be used when a radiator calls for on demand. We open and check it. Our radiator, the actual fluid inside the radiator. It should be checked when the engine is cold and not running. In the back of the engine, we have our air cleaner. Most of them are in a square shape nowadays due to fuel injection. Others on the older vehicles, you might find a round cylindrical air cleaner on top of the engine. It's removed in the same way. Lift the cover off and your air cleaner is exposed. Remove the filter and then just check for dirt and signs of wear. Replace it the same way you have taken it out. Coming over to the front of the engine, we have our transmission dipstick. This is how we check our transmission oil. This must always be checked with the engine running. Working our way around to the other side of the motor, we have our engine oil dipstick. It's a little pull ring. And we pull our stick, and we check the level of our engine oil. Our other key component is our distributor cap, which sends a spark to fire the spark plugs, our ignition wires, which carries the current to the spark plugs, the spark plugs themselves at the end of the ignition wires. We have our radiator hose that brings the coolant from the radiator to the engine block, and our lower radiator hose at the bottom of the engine that returns the coolant from the radiator back to the engine block. So the cycle is completed from the radiator to the engine to the radiator. We have our alternator, which is the electrical producing device on the vehicle. It's where you get your electrical power from while the engine is running, and also it delivers current back to your battery to recharge it so you'll be able to start your car in the morning. And finally, the key component is your fan belt, which is in the front of the car, which drives your power accessories, such as your alternator, your power steering, your air conditioning, and your water pump.
And that's the Bronc. And you can see the Bronc doing auto repair every Thursday night at 7:30. And before that, you saw Mark Marone. He has the pet show. That's Tuesday nights at 7:30 on Extra Help. Keep your calls coming in. We've been having great fun so far. I'd like to thank our first guests from the first hour. Now, we're going to talk about leisure activities. And those of you who are in this viewing area obviously know that two of the biggest sports in this area are driving and shopping, of course. Now, coming in a close third and fourth, we have golf and tennis, not in any order. And with us tonight, I'd like to introduce, they're going to be here every week. They are our golf pro, Tom Berry, and he's the assistant golf teaching pro for the Town of Oyster Bay Golf Course. Hi, Tom. Welcome to the show. And from the Syosset Tennis Academy, tennis pro Rick Elstein.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to You're the Expert. And you guys are experts, and that's why you're here. And a lot of people have a lot of questions. And I thought I'd start with you tonight, Tom. You made a video of some golf stuff. What are we going to learn this week?
Yeah, basically that you have to hit down on the golf ball to make it go up in the air.
I'll have to check into the physics show earlier in the week next week. You hit down on the golf ball to go up in the air.
Yeah, to make it go up.
Will the video explain that so even I can understand it?
Sure.
Okay. Let's go to the video and see how that works. Tom Berry.
Yeah, basically I was showing that I was lifting my left heel, all my weight was on my back foot, so I was hitting up at the golf ball, and therefore causing the ball to go very low and roll along the ground. Now this one, I shift my weight backwards and end up on my back foot. That was correct. I was forward on my left side, my right foot was up in the air, therefore I hit down into the golf ball and propelled it upward. There again in slow motion.
What's happening there? Same deal.
Same exact deal. The correct swing, getting down into the golf ball, finishing up on my left side with my right heel up in the air. Therefore, I shifted my weight.
So you shift your weight from the left, but from the right to the left?
To the left, to ensure that you hit down into the golf ball.
And then the right foot comes up.
Yeah, you finish up high on your heel.
Wow, that's wild. It just seems like you have to think opposite to do it.
Exactly, that's the idea.
Wow. Rick, is there anything similar in tennis in that, you're swinging down to hit up?
Well, yeah, there is. I'm going to demonstrate a shot for the low volley, but the thing that's similar, and it's true to the whole sport of tennis and golf, is that you're training the mind to do it the opposite of what you initially think would be correct. So most people try to, on the golf shot, they try to scoop it and lift it, and on tennis I'm going to demonstrate a low volley, and the tendency is to do the same thing, to try to get under the ball and lift it, when what you're really trying to do is a very similar type of thing. In golf, you're always hitting a ball that's low. It's always on the ground.
Yeah.
In tennis, you can be hitting a ball up here, but you also have to hit a ball that's low. And when you hit a ball that's low, you should do the similar thing that you would do to hit a low golf shot.
Yeah, you don't hit many fungos with golf balls, do you? Throw it up in the air and smack it.
Not legally.
Unless you've gone, you know, like 5 or 6 over par. In the
Exactly.
hole. Then you start.
Then you have some fun.
Then the clubs go, the golf balls go, the bag goes in the lake. Is it weird to program your mind to think opposite like that? I mean,
yeah, you have to retrain yourself to hit down, to make the ball go up, and to do just a bunch of opposites.
How about when you have like a tree in front of you, and you know, and what you're thinking is the pro's telling you hit down to make the ball go up.
Yeah, to go up and over the tree, and everybody tries to scoop the ball up in the air and lift it up in the air, and it tends to go very low when that happens.
Tennis, you have a ball that's near the net, and you're near the net, and the ball is in between you and the net, and the amateur will take the racket, put it underneath, and swing up, and the ball goes right in the net. You can't get it up quick enough by lifting it. You have to open the face of the racket.
Is there also the danger of like hitting home runs if you're going for the low ball and you're swinging up?
Exactly, exactly. Because you can't take the pace off the ball unless you put underspin on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting because you're training the mind. You're training yourself to do the opposite of what you think you should do. And then, but the good news is that if you practice for a while and you get good at it, then after a while the thinking changes. You actually start to think instead of opposites. You start thinking this is the way it is. And if you've been playing for a long enough period of time, you don't have, you know, just think of it
it's
as
just automatic.
Right,
after
it
a
becomes
while.
automatic.
It feels normal. It feels natural.
Viewers, you know our phone numbers and our fax numbers. If you have questions, call them in. Why don't we take a look at the tape of Rick hitting down to hit up. And
all right, that's the wrong way to do it. It's see here again, below when you're lifting, and with the ball, you see what happens is you're swinging up, but the ball ends up going in the net because it's not lifting quick enough. And then if you do it correctly, you drop the racket head down. See, it's almost like making a 9-iron in golf, opening the face, and the loft ball comes up immediately. You're also able to take pace off the ball, so you're not hitting it, you're able to float it in deep. Again, keep in mind that you're right near the net there. It's a finesse shot.
Yeah, it really is.
But it's strange because, again, under pressure, until you're used to that type of motion, there's the tendency to try to lift it. And then, like you said, you either hit a home run, and more often than not, you hit it in the net.
Yeah.
And in golf, more often than not, what happens when you try to scoop a ball?
Yeah, you hit it really low. You blade it. You hit it on the very bottom of the golf club, and it goes really low and long ways.
Sort of skips along the ground, which you don't want it to do.
No, especially when you want it to go over a lake or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you roll it through the lake.
Hopefully you can skip it across the lake, but that doesn't happen very often, does it?
Very seldom.
Oof. So how many lessons does it take to, you know, or how long do you have to play to get this concept down and going?
Somewhere, you know, we figured out it's going to be close to around 2 to 10 years. Really depends on how much you practice and how much you're willing to practice.
2 to 10 years. Well,
it's about 1 million lessons, huh, in golf?
It's a lot.
I've played both games, and I'm an insult to golf and a disgrace to tennis, so having you guys on the show is going to be very beneficial to me. What are you guys going to be talking about in the weeks coming up? Can you give us a little preview? If we have any callers out there, give us a call, because we're taking all takers tonight. We want to hear what questions you have for golf or tennis.
Well, we'll be talking about how to generate power the proper way. I think
also opposites and
opposites. How this is one opposite, but you had
there's a bunch of other opposites that are also in the golf swing and also in tennis.
Make the ball go left, you have to swing right.
Swing right, yeah.
We got a show that we're doing on we call it choking and chili dip.
Yeah, choking and chili dipping.
Choking and chili dip.
Universal problem in all sports is we choke, and in golf they call that
chili dipping.
Yeah. Chili dipping. Oh, that's great. You should have been here the first half of the show.
Right. Chili dip and egg cream.
It would have been in there.
Now, you're talking about 2 to 10 years of lessons. Do you have anything for beginners, people just starting out? You know, usually when people get into something, the first thing they do is run to the store, buy, you know, hundreds of dollars worth of gear, come out on the course or on the courts, and say, now what do I do?
Well, we do in Syasa we do lots of beginner programs, group lessons. And it's not difficult for 2 years. It's fun in the beginning. I took up golf 5 years ago. And I had a lot of fun with it right from the beginning, and tennis people do too. It's not that it's torture. It is difficult in the sense that, like we said before, you're training yourself to do opposites. I thought of an interesting thing in skiing. When I took up skiing, that's also opposites, because the tendency is not to edge into the mountain. And the reason that you learn it so quickly is because every time you do it wrong, you fall down. So the mind has to click in right away, and then it becomes easy right away. In golf, you get a torturous penalty because you have to write down your errors every shot, but you don't fall down. So I think that's one of the reasons. Yeah, that's why it takes longer to learn how to.
Yeah, because it's different, and you got to learn to do the opposites, and you just got to trust yourself. But I know the one thing, as far as at the Oyster Bay Golf Club, we have clinics and group lessons and stuff like that also. But the main thing, or something like that, before you buy a set of clubs, make sure you get fitted by somebody that's qualified in it, because you can get a golf club that might not fit you properly, and if you have a golf club that sits like this when you try and hit it, you're not going to make good contact no matter how you are. So the idea is to make sure you always get a properly fitted set of clubs where the bottom of the golf club sits flat on the ground for you at address.
And you guys will be talking about grips and styles and swings and things like that?
Yeah, my partner who's doing some of the shows, Lawrence Klager, is doing a show on equipment and the evolution of equipment. And it's real interesting to watch how this stuff came from big wooden rackets to the rackets that we use today.
Yeah, the same with the golf. You got wooden shafts and just generated from there.
That's great. We have a caller. It's Raul from Bayview. Raul, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, first-time caller, long-time listener. Hello.
Hello, how are you, sir?
Your question is for?
Yeah, my question is for the gentleman out there that plays golf.
The gentleman who plays golf, that's you.
Right, I couldn't get his name, I'm sorry about it.
This is Tom Berry.
Tom Berry, okay, sir. I would like to play golf as a beginner. What do you advise me to get as far as the clubs that I need and so on and so forth? I heard you talking about also the grip and all that. What do I got to go, or where do you advise me to start from as far as getting a set of golf sets?
Well, before you make the wrong choice and buy a wrong set of clubs, I would advise, maybe get some lessons, get into a group lesson or some clinics, and let the person that's going to teach you that find out or let you know what type of club you'll need, so you'll fit you properly. Just like I was showing with my club, that if you buy a set of clubs and it doesn't fit you properly, whether the shaft might be too stiff or the club might be too long, you're going to have a hard time swinging that club and learning that way. So I would find a way to take some lessons and let that person show you what to do.
Oh, okay. Any place that you can recommend to go, or any names you can give me?
Well, I work at the Oyster Bay Golf Club. You're more than welcome to give me a call out there.
And what is that at?
It's at the town of Oyster Bay Golf Club.
Okay, fine. I call it from Bayville, so I'll probably be able to get there.
Yeah.
And see you. So I appreciate you, sir.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Raul. Thanks for your call. And that does bring up a good question. Now, I'm going to ask questions as a golf dummy. You can't just go to somebody's country club where you're not a member and say, gosh, I would like to learn how to play golf right here, can I? Mind if I use this? What kind of courses do you look for?
There's a lot of good beginners courses out there, whether they be 9-hole, executive, pitch and putts, things of that number that you can play on. And that'd be the best type.
Oh, that's good.
Just a good beginner's golf course, because if you're starting out and you go to a golf course that has a lot of hazards, bunkers, water, and a lot of trees, and you spend all day long in the trouble, it's not a fun day.
No, not at all. Rich, you're on the phone.
Hi, I got a question for Tom Berry. Tom, you were just talking about the right clubs for a type of person. What I'm curious about is what exactly is, I'm 6'3", and what happens is when I went to different golf pro shops to get my clubs, each one's had different ways of measuring me as far as what height of club I should use. Now, I got inch-long clubs, which means they're extended by about approximately an inch. Why would one places want to put 2 inches on me? One pro shop said, well, you don't have to put anything on it, and one, which I settled on, was 1 inch long. What's the difference? Why? What's in my golf swing? What's in my golf,
It really wouldn't be on, about your golf swing. It might be about your body, the size of your body. You might have real short arms, or you might have a real long upper torso or short, short lower torso.
What is the actual measurement? How is one measured? What's the proper way?
It's basically from your fingertips to the floor, and there are a few charts that if you set up to it, that chart will tell you basically how long of a club you're going to need and the type of lie.
There is an actual chart on way to do it. There's not like many different ways to measure up the type of club that you're going to use as far as the length of it. There's one specific way, and that's it? Because, like I said, I went to different pro shops, and they have different ways.
You could take a bunch of practice swings and let somebody watching you swing, and they could see your tendencies as you're striking the golf ball, whether you were hitting the ball more on the heel of the club or more on the toe of the club, and they would be able to make up a set better or custom fit you with that direction. Okay. But somebody should, see you hit the ball. You shouldn't just walk into a store and buy it off the rack. You should, get measured, and also try them out.
Well, where I ended up buying them was, and ultimately my decision was made by me going to a driving range, which was right next door to the pro shop, and I went and I played with the clubs that I felt most comfortable with.
Yeah, that's a good choice also.
Okay. Now I have another question for you. I have a slice, and I'm sure you've been asked about this a million times. What happens is I'll hit it down the fairway, and I hit it a pretty good distance, and it's going straight. But in the last 100 yards, I start getting that leak.
Uh-oh.
What am I doing?
Well, different ways causes the golf ball to slice. Sometimes you make contact with the club face slightly open, therefore you impart side spin.
Right.
And as the ball travels, it continues to go to the right. Also, your swing path might have something to do with it. If you swing across your body or across the golf ball, you also impart side spin. Usually when you do that, the ball will start off a little left of where you wanted the ball to go, and then it'll slice across the fairway out in the trees.
Then it's probably that I have my because that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, then you're swinging across your body.
So then open the club face a little bit more as I'm coming through, or make sure it's coming through.
No, make sure you do an opposite. Try and swing to the right and let the ball come back to the left.
Should I set up further to the right?
I wouldn't set up further to the right. I would try and feel like your arms are, swinging the club head out farther to the right.
Uh-huh. Okay, so in other words, I just got to practice.
Yeah, practice swinging around instead of across.
Okay, Tom, thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Rich. Thanks for that call. We have another caller, and this is Terry from Smithtown. Hello, Terry.
Yes, good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. Do you live on Terry Road? That'd make things a lot easier for you.
There is one here in Smithtown.
Not so much to remember. Your question is for?
It's actually, I've got two, one for Tom and the other gentleman. Tom's question is, I've got a couple of friends that play golf, and each one has a different golf ball that they use that they swear by. Is there a golf ball that, Tom, that you recommend that that you recommend that people can play with?
Yeah, there are a bunch of types. Different companies make different types. Depending on the level of play that you're at. Right now, a golf ball that's considered to be a hard golf ball, like a Pinnacle or a Titleist HBC or a Wilson Ultra or something of that nature that's considered a hard golf ball, it's tough to cut, would be good. If you're a real good player and you got a real low handicap and you like to spin the ball a lot, make the ball stop and have a lot of control, then you might want to try a softer covered ball like a Bellata or a Bridgestone Precept EV. They spin a lot more, you have more control, but the downside to that is that if you hit a bad shot, you could cut the golf ball, and therefore you're going to ruin it.
I see. And the other question is for the other gentleman.
That's Rick, by the way.
I'm sorry. Is there any particular kind of sneaker that you recommend generally for people to play when they're playing tennis that is easy on the feet?
Not brand, but it's important that you have the right sneaker for the right surface. If you play on clay courts, you have to have one that has more tread. If you play on a hard surface, you have to have one that has less tread. It depends, I guess, on, my ankles are kind of weak, so I usually have a sneaker that's a little bit higher.
Like a basketball type?
Well, yeah, I used to use basketball, but that felt like so weighty and heavy. Who's the guy? Herman Munster, I felt like, trying to play tennis. That didn't work. But for the most part, the most important thing is that you have a sneaker that has support and correct for the right surface.
Jogging sneakers are out, or okay?
Jogging sneakers are really out.
They're really out.
They wreck our courts and they wreck your ankles.
I see.
Other than that, they're in.
So the flat ones are better, really?
I'm not sure what you mean by flat.
I'm sorry, the flat sole kind of.
Jogging sneakers are not made for turning and twisting. Oh. So you're going to hurt yourself if you wear those.
Oh, okay.
All right. So you need a good tennis shoe, and there's a whole lot of them. All the big name companies make them. But what surface do you play on most often? Hard court?
I'm talking hard court, yeah.
Yeah, so just get a hard court sneaker. It'll last longer, and you'll be doing the right thing.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
Pleasure.
Okay, thank you, Terry. We were speaking before about where you go to play golf if you're a beginner. I guess it's a lot easier if you're a tennis player looking for a place to learn the game.
Well, you have public parks, and of course, you're welcome at our tennis club.
Schools and
true, right?
Places like that.
Yeah, but golf. When I learned to play golf, I went to the driving range all the time too for a while before I went out on the.
Yeah, you kind of got to have an idea of how far the ball is going to go and which direction it's going to go before you go on the golf.
It's good to get the ball up in the air before you.
Yeah, true.
With golf though, as opposed to tennis, a big difference in the beginner. When you play golf, you're involved with everybody on the course. And if you're slow, you hold up the whole course. One nice thing about tennis is you're on your own court, and however bad you are, you're not ruining anyone else's day.
Unless, of course, you're shagging balls over to their court.
Yeah, but for the most part, you don't. Yeah, constantly, that could be a problem. But for the most part, you don't have that problem. So I found when I was playing golf, I wanted to get pretty good before I went out, because like...
Yeah, you should practice a little bit.
And you got to tee off in front of everybody.
Oh yeah, that's the most nervous time on the first tee. Ooh. You know, it never fails. When you go up there, you're nervous, and you got about 40, maybe 100 people watching you, and then you roll it off the tee box. Then you got to go hit it again. That's even more embarrassing.
Right, you got to hit the same shot, the same place until you make it in that sport.
Ooh. How old were you when you started playing golf?
I was 8 years old.
8 years old?
Yep.
The club must have been taller than you then.
Back then it was plastic. Wow. You know, my parents started me out with a plastic golf club, so in case I hit somebody, it wouldn't hurt real bad.
And how about you, Rick? When did you start playing tennis?
About the same age. And I don't remember what I used. I guess I learned to play ping pong and badminton, and I played all the racket sports. I have a daughter who's 2 now, and she starts swinging a ping pong paddle around. She hits the ball, and a little dachshund chases the ball. And it's as good a way as any to start.
Well, yeah, but you should start, you know, it's easier when you were young to start, but, you know, through lessons and stuff, even at an older age, you can retrain your body to do certain things. And
all right.
Well, it becomes fun. We start kids a little bit more seriously around 5 or so. Yeah. We have pee-wee programs, and then we get them miniature equipment, and they learn to hit over.
Yeah, that's like us. We have a bunch of junior clinics and things of that nature.
Do you use real balls?
Yeah, we use real golf balls.
Yeah, we use soft stuff, and the kids can hit the soft balls.
Yeah, true, like the, you know.
Well, I want to thank you guys for being here. You're going to be here next week and every week, as long as we run here on You're the Expert. Thanks so much for being with us. Next week, if we have a little extra time, I want to talk about how to get that windmill shot. That's the one I always have tough
no problem.
with. You know, when the clown goes up and down, that one's okay for me, but the windmill, that's tough.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We're going to cut away to a little break, and then we're going to be back with our other leisure experts. Thanks a lot, guys.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Did you know that C-SPAN and C-SPAN 2 were created and are supported by the cable television industry? In 1979, Cablevision and other cable companies established C-SPAN as a public service for their viewers. C-SPAN now provides live coverage of the U.S. House of Representatives, and C-SPAN 2 covers the Senate. Both networks carry live hearings, news conferences, viewer call-in shows, and special educational programs kids can watch in school. Cablevision, get to know us. We've got a lot to offer.
Hi, I'm Joseph Ryan, and I work for Cablevision's Converter Control. Part of my job is to make sure all the converters that leave here are in good working condition for our customers. Sometimes a converter will need a repair. When that happens, we give the customers a new converter right away so they don't have to wait for one to be repaired. I like knowing that the work I do helps customers enjoy a clear picture when they sit down to watch TV. And by doing my job well, I help give customers the good service they deserve from Cablevision.
We're back. Welcome back to You're the Expert. I'm Bill Polchinski, your host, and we're talking right now with Russ Gobetz from Bicycle Planet.
How's it going?
How are you, Russ? Welcome to the show. It's our first show, and you'll be getting a certificate and a watch and a Barney doll and all that stuff.
Okay.
You're from Bicycle Planet. What is that?
It's a bike store in Jericho Turnpike in Syosset.
And what do you do at the bike store?
I'm one of the sales reps and one of the mechanics, and just talk to the public, help everybody out, do a little of everything.
That's great. Bicycle Planet. It sounds like, you know, a planet full of bicycle people. It's where, you know, the bicycle wife will say to the bicycle husband, "Not tonight. I'm too tired." Get too tired. Okay. I've been working on that all day. Thank you. I see you brought 2 kinds of bikes here. I'm holding one. You want to bring that other one over there?
Yeah, sure.
We'll see what this is. Bicycle. Now, okay. What's the difference between these? What are they? And
okay, this is a mountain bike, and that's a road bike. Main difference between them, the road bike has a much thinner tire, and it's meant to be ridden just on the road. A bike like this is made to go off-road, or this bike's actually made to go more for downhilling. Take it up to a ski slope in the summer, just take it up on the chair and ride it downhill.
Wow. What are we talking about in terms of dollars here for
these are top-of-the-line race bikes. They're more expensive, but a good quality mountain bike or road bike start anywhere between $300 and $600.
Wow. Holy moly. That's how much my car costs.
My truck costs that much, too.
Really? Wow, that's wild. So you're spending this kind of money, and something else with biking I wanted to ask. I have a 4-year-old son, and there are helmet laws.
Yes.
And how do helmet laws apply to each type of biking? You have your road bikes,
well,
mountain bikes.
for adults, it's a good. I think it's a good idea to wear a helmet, but it's all personal preference. You can't force anybody really, except by law. But right now, there's no law for adults to be wearing, but it's a good idea. I've cracked a helmet before off-road, so it's a good idea.
Have you had a spill?
Yeah. A few.
Were you wearing a helmet?
Yes.
And do you feel that the helmet did the job?
One time I cracked a helmet last season, so.
Ooh. And if the helmet wasn't on, that would have been your head cracking.
Yeah.
Holy moly. So here we are on Long Island. Where does one ride a bike?
There's a few places depending where on the island. About Middle Island, there's a Greenbelt Trail, and it's on Jericho Turnpike right near our shop. It goes all the way from Bethpage State Park all the way out to Cold Spring Harbor. And the Greenbelt on Jericho Turnpike is just about the middle point. And it's good for riding. It's a little of both. Some parts are advanced, some parts are for beginner, but it's good all around. And then further out east, places like Rocky Point. There's a preserve out there where you can go riding, but you need a permit. The permit's free, but you need one to ride there.
I was going to ask, are there any fees anywhere for riding? Do you have to?
Not really. The state parks, there's a parking fee if you're going to park in the parking lot, if you bring your car with your bike, but there aren't too many fees on the island.
Now, how about someone who can't get to one of the preferred biking places like the Greenbelt, like Rocky Point? If it's a younger person who doesn't have a car to get them there, where would you suggest just biking around?
There's a lot of places. I mean, be sensible where you're going as far as you don't want to be going where anything dangerous like sumps or anything to be mountain biking, but like Bethpage State Park, about middle of the island, it's got a good diverse between us. There's road path through there for regular road bikes, mountain path nearby for mountain bikes. So, other than that, there's the regular state parks. That's about it.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about these bikes we have here. I noticed there are some differences. Could you tell us a little bit about them? What they, what the heck is that thing over there? That's what I want to know. It looks like a carburetor.
This is the suspension, rear suspension of the bike.
Face that, if you spin that around, we can see it out in TV land.
Yeah, this bike is set up with front suspension and rear suspension. And it's made for mountain biking, takes the shock out of going downhill.
Wow.
Saves your hands, you can ride longer, faster downhill, keeps traction. As far as most road bikes don't have a suspension, you don't usually need it, it's nice and smooth. But something like this is for a person who's very much into the sport.
Could you show us that shock again?
Yeah,
Flex
sure.
the whole thing. Whoa, holy mackerel.
Get about 3 inches of travel there, and front suspension, you get almost 3 inches of travel there, depending on your shocks.
like a small car here, all this stuff.
It's just as expensive, but...
That's one. Now, would it be advisable to take a road bike on a trail?
I wouldn't advise it, but some people do it. It gets dangerous. The size of the tire, you can sink into softer terrain. I mean, it's not a very good idea.
Any other things you have to look out for when you're biking?
On the road, definitely follow traffic laws. Cars aren't opted looking for a bicyclist or a motorcyclist, so make sure you're paying more attention than the car driver is. Off-road, it's common sense. If you think a hill's too steep that you don't think you'll be able to ride down it, don't ride down it. Other than that, it's great exercise. It's a lot of fun. Go out with a group of people. There's a lot of organizations. Stop by any bike shops. They have little pamphlets there for different organizations for either road riding or mountain biking, and you're good to go.
That's great. Now, vice versa, would you suggest riding a mountain bike on the street, on the road?
The only disadvantage is it has a fatter tire, so you have more rolling resistance. If you're going to ride 20, 30 miles on the road with the mountain bike, you're going to notice a difference. But as far as the durability, you have no problem. I mean, it's made to take more punishment than you're going to put to it on the road. So it's not too much as far as
So it's better to take a mountain bike on the road than a road bike on the mountain. Yeah. We have a call, and it's Mike, I believe. Mike from Westbury. Mike.
Yeah, Mike. Hi.
How are you?
All right. How are you? I love the show, by the way.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. I was wondering, I want to get a new bike, but when I go to the bike show, I mean, how do I get fitted for a bike? I mean, I'm 5 feet 8 inches tall. I was just wondering, you know, is there like a certain size bike that I need, or do you get fitted for a bike, or?
Okay, well, general rule of thumb for sizing up for a bike, mountain bikes, generally when you're standing over the bike, you want about 2 to 3 inches between your crotch and the top tube of the bike.
Okay.
On a road bike, it's generally about an inch.
When I'm sitting on the seat of the bike, though, should your feet touch the ground, or?
Most likely not. When you're sitting on the seat, proper leg extension, your leg is almost fully extended. So if you, depending on any size bike, the seat's going to be at the same height.
Now, another thing I wanted to ask you, I have an old English racer bike,
okay,
Raleigh, and it's like from about 1970. Are they good to ride on these trails, the Greenbelt Trail?
Definitely not.
No. I mean, it was an expensive bike when I got it. You know, it was from England.
Well, it'd probably still be a very nice bike for the road use, but for off-road use, the tires you're just gonna, the rims you're gonna end up bending,
yeah,
and things like that. It's just.
Well, it's got small rims like that bike is showing.
Yeah, the blue one or the red one?
You know, the blue one that's on there now.
Yeah, that one's for the road. That's a road bike.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. Well, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Mike. Are there any clubs or you know, get-togethers where people could get together and bike? I notice drive down the highway and I'll see, like, you know, zillions of people all dressed the same way and wearing bathing caps, it looks like, and zooming down and you know, I see some people riding, they got their rear end way up in the air and their head way down. It looks like they're, you know, doing a headstand or a handstand.
There's a lot of organizations and groups that do ride. If you stop into any bike shops, there are a bunch of different groups for mountain biking and road bikes. And the groups go anywhere from beginner to advanced as far as skill level. So everybody can just, you know, go out, ride with a group of people. You know, it's a great way to meet people. It's a lot of fun. There's always somebody at the same level as you, so don't have to be intimidated by, well, you know, I don't ride that much. I don't want to be riding with some guys that are going to be riding so much faster than me and be all embarrassed or anything, but that's about it.
I notice on the bikes we have all these gears. Why do we need so many?
You don't really need them all. They're nice to know they're there. Usually when
Am I paying for gears that I don't need?
Sometimes, well, it depends on your skill level. Some people on mountain bikes, they have bike anywhere from 18 to 24 speeds. All those gears, it just gives you a nice variety, so you can always somewhere in there have a nice pedaling cadence. On road bikes, again, they have a number of gears depending on which style, the touring or just a regular road bike. Anywhere, just so you get a nice smooth cadence.
I don't know if it's my area of expertise, but it's my wallet that I'm concerned about. We have a caller. It's Maria from New Hyde Park. Maria, hello.
Hello. Hi. Hello?
Hello.
Hi. Can you give me a basic idea how to use these gears? Because I usually just loosen the gears so it's easier when I go up the hill and tighten it when I'm going downhill, but I'm not sure if I'm doing it right.
You're doing exactly right. That's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. That's why they're there. You want to be able to shift into easier gear when you're going uphill and into a harder gear when you're on the flats or going downhill.
But when you're going against the wind, what do you suggest, like a medium gear to be in?
You probably want to be get into a slightly easier gear. The slightly easier gear, you'll have, you know, you're going to be going a little bit slower, but it's going to be easier for you to pedal. You won't get tired as quick.
What do you suggest is like a good distance to go with, like if you haven't bike ride in a year or two?
Well, just like with any sport, get back into it, stretch out before you ride, and don't overdo it. Depends, you know, on your athletic ability. Start off with a couple of miles, maybe graduate slowly into a number of other rides.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Maria. I've heard a lot about grip shift. Now, is that a new Stephen King movie coming out, or is that...
No, it's
what is grip?
It's the type of shifters that mountain bikes are starting to use and some road bikes. Basically, it just keeps your hand wrapped around the handlebar at all times, and all you have to do is just twist the inside of the grip, and you're shifting, just like that. That's all you do, and you're changing gears.
So the motorcycles have the same sort of deal sometimes?
Well, they have a throttle, and that's all in one grip. And that's for throttling. This isn't basically, this is just to change gears.
Very nice. Speaking of changing gears, we have Hendrik from Southampton. Hello, Hendrik. Welcome.
Good evening.
How are you?
Thank you, fine. I'd like to know where is the best place to buy. Do you have some season sale? Also, could I have some catalog from you?
Do you have a catalog?
Yes, I do. If you want to call up the shop, we could give you directions to it, or we can mail out anything to you. The phone number there is area code 516-364-4434, and anybody there can help you. And they're open every night during the week till 9, so I know they'll still be open now for another 20 minutes.
364-4434, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Call right away. Thanks, Henrik. What other kind of stuff do you sell at Bicycle Planet? I mean, do you just sell bikes? What other kind of things? I mean,
mountain bikes, road bikes, juvenile bikes, lots of clothing, shoes, rollerblades, car racks, roof racks, basically anything to do with outdoor riding or accessories for riding or anything like that.
No, I mean the real stuff, like streamers for the handlebars.
We have streamers for the handlebars.
Raccoon tails?
We got no raccoon tails, but
simulated?
We
No simulated ones? How about, do you sell baseball cards, or does someone have to go to a baseball card store to put clothespins on the...
Well, you're going to have to go to a baseball card store for that, but we do sell pogs.
Pogs! You heard it here, kids.
There you go. Keyword, pogs.
Bicycle Planet. Get your pogs. They're having a run on pogs. We have Gary from Massapequa. Hello, Gary.
Hi, how you doing? Really enjoying the show.
Thank you.
Russ, I've been a runner for many years. I'm thinking about getting involved in biathlons and triathlons, but I don't want to break the bank. What's a good entry-level road bike for me?
It depends. Good entry-level bike's around $300 to $600, and you're getting a good quality bike. It's going to last you a number of years. And from there, it just depends, again, on how much you want to spend on it and how much into the sport you're going to get.
Also, you see the odd-shaped handlebars that get us to a better aerodynamic position. How expensive are those?
They're relatively inexpensive. They can start off around $40 to $50, and they can extend all the way up into the hundreds of dollars. Depends, again, on how much you want to spend and how much into the sport you want to get.
Also, I'm concerned about the durability of tires, because I'm probably going to be riding in an area where there's a lot of traffic and some debris on the road. What's the best possible tire for me?
There's some, again, it depends on what type of tread pattern you're going to look for, but it maybe Specialized has a lot of nice tires. Armadillos, they're Kevlar beaded, Kevlar reinforced, or Continental tires are a nice tire. They usually last pretty well.
I don't want to dominate your time, but I got one last question. Unfortunately, because of my work schedule, I have to go out either early in the morning when it's still kind of dark, or later after work when it's starting to become dark once again. I'm concerned about safety. Once again, there are a lot of cars in my neighborhood. Is there any kind of reflective vest or anything I can wear to make me show up better on the road?
Yes, we sell. They sell reflective vests. We sell little reflectors that blink. We sell headlights, taillights. But it's definitely a good idea to make sure you're seen. Again, cars aren't apt to seeing a bicycle on the road, so make sure you're paying attention more than the driver is.
All right, Russ, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have another caller on the line. It's Lisa from West Hempstead.
Yes.
Hello, Lisa. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
I was wondering, is there a difference between the cantilever brake and a caliper brake?
Yes. Cantilever brakes has two arms independently working, and a caliper brake is a one. They work in unison, the two brake pads. You get more braking power with the cantilevers. Most road bikes use a caliper brake because they don't need the force and the braking power that a mountain bike might need.
Which is there one like safer than the other, or?
As long as it's a good mechanical condition, safety factor is minimal.
Okay. All right. No, thanks.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome.
Thank you for calling. Well, Russ, I'd like to thank you so much for being here with us. Thanks for bringing the bikes. Are we going to a little Oh, we are going to a break. Thank you so much.
Okay.
We'll see you down at Bicycle Planet.
Yeah,
Thanks for
definitely.
bringing in the stuff. Thanks for being on the show, and we'll see you again.
Yeah, hopefully I'll see you down there soon.
We'll be right back after this little break.
Did you know that every Cablevision service technician carries an ID card? The identification card contains a photo of the employee as well as his or her name and company ID number. If you're not sure who's working on the utility poles near your home, you can quickly determine whether he's a Cablevision employee or authorized contractor. And don't hesitate to ask for the ID card of a Cablevision employee who comes to your home. Employee ID cards help keep you informed. Cablevision, get to know us. We've got a lot to offer.
I really like this stuff because you can do things that usual museums wouldn't let you do.
You get to watch yourself on the news pretending that you're like a news person.
I played on the computers.
I like the part where we play with the bubbles because that was really fun.
I like the wheelchair where you sit down.
Everyone was having fun.
That was great.
Welcome back to You're the Expert. We have with us in the studio right now Seth Dankman. How are you, Seth?
Nice to meet you.
Seth is from Eastern Mountain Sports, and you're here to tell us about hiking.
That's it, hiking in Long Island.
Sure got a whole bunch of stuff there. As I mentioned before at the top of this hour, when you think of Long Island, you think of shopping and driving. And when you think of cars whizzing by at, 90 miles an hour, you don't think very much of hiking anywhere. Where do you hike on Long Island?
Well, after spending most of your time on the LIE during the day, believe it or not, you can actually get out and enjoy the nice weather out there and do some trail hiking. There are plenty of places to go hiking. It's just a matter of finding out where they are. Some of the most popular places is the Long Island Greenbelt. There are two trails that run all the way from the North Shore down to the South Shore. One is the Nassau-Suffolk Trail, which is starts in Cold Spring Harbor, ends up in Massapequa. And then there's one out in Suffolk County that starts in Sunken Meadow and ends up down in down on the South Shore somewhere. I can't remember exactly where it is. So those are two very long trails.
We have to know these things if we need someone to pick us up.
You want to know what it is? I actually know what it is. You see that? Heckscher State Park.
Heckscher.
Okay.
What the Heckscher? So you're basically doing along the parkway there, going from Sunken Meadow down to Heckscher.
That's right. And you can't do that in one day. So you can take, it took me my first time hiking maybe 10 trips doing little segments of the trail to complete a whole trail. And that's how I got started in hiking, was on that trail.
Wow.
Going down there.
So in other words, you walk halfway there and you walk halfway back, and then you do a little bit at a time.
Right. Unless you have two cars, you want to leave one at the front of the trail and one at the back of the trail, and then hike to another car and drive back. But
that's a little extravagant.
That's
I think we're in a recession. Let's not big time everybody out there. You got a bunch of stuff here. What do you have? Let's find out what this is.
Well, first of all, as far as Long Island hiking is concerned, since it's not the most technical hiking, you don't have 14,000-foot peaks, and you're not in any grave danger. The most important thing I think you would want to concern yourself is with your hiking boots and probably your clothing, okay?
Yeah, show us there on camera what they look like, if you can hold them steady.
Okay, this is what I consider a mid-weight hiking boot. It's almost all leather. It's got a pretty aggressive sole to it. I'm wearing right now a lightweight hiker, okay? Either one of these two would be great for Long Island. What's the difference, basically, between a shoe that looks like a sneaker, like this does, and a true hiking boot? Basically, the aggressive sole. Okay, a sneaker doesn't have that. Second of all, it's more breathable than a sneaker. Okay. Third of all is it gives you good arch support. If you walk on sneakers for 6-7 hours a day, your feet are going to hurt in the balls and the heel of your foot, while a hiking boot will hopefully distribute the weight more evenly, okay? And the last thing that most people don't know is there's actually either a plastic sheet or a metal sheet called a shank in the middle of all boots, and all hiking boots, all good ones at least, that stop you from either stepping on a rock and hurting your foot, and it distributes the weight more evenly. And the way you can tell is just by bending the boot. You notice it won't bend in the center. If you took a sneaker and bent it, it would bend in the center. But there's a plastic sheet in here. So that's what makes the difference between a hiking boot and a basic sneaker.
Wouldn't it be just as easy to save a couple of bucks and just watch where you're going instead of stepping on rocks?
unfortunately, you want to enjoy the birds and the view, and you don't want to worry about where you're going and just want to have fun.
So like you're looking up at the birds, oh, this is great, and you walk into a tree and you get a knot hole in the eye?
I haven't walked into any trees yet.
Really?
You never know.
Do you have to wear a helmet for hiking?
No, that's biking.
Oh, okay.
Only when you get into rock climbing do you need the helmet. Another thing you want to think about is clothing, okay? Really simply, there's cold and warm climate clothing. In the warm climate, cotton is fine, okay? The cotton that you've always worn, the cotton t-shirt, cotton shorts, cotton socks, fine in the warm climate. But in cold weather, which we see a lot of in Long Island here.
Especially this May.
That's fine. Anyway, so the synthetic clothing is what you'd want to wear. The reason why is because cotton absorbs the moisture of your body and makes you cold. Synthetic clothing will push the moisture of your body, your sweat, away from your body, out into the air, keep you dry and much warmer. That's the simplest principle that people don't realize. And that's why all this popular fleece material that you see out there now, made of plastic, called Polartec, has become really popular. Synthetic, like nylon pants, which I have on right now. So that really will keep you warm in the winter, but in the summertime you can still wear the cotton. Even the socks that I wear are synthetic wool mixture. Even in summertime, it keeps your feet drier.
Show us what these socks look like.
Believe it or not, it looks like a regular sock, but it's a synthetic wool blend. Very comfortable, very light, and dries very quickly, and keeps your feet dry so you don't get blisters. These are little things that people don't think about when they hike, believe it or not.
All right, we have a phone call. Sandra from Huntington, how are you?
Hi, how you doing tonight?
Good to see you. Good to hear you. Good to talk to you. Good to see us.
Nice to see you guys. I had a question about first aid. When you're doing light hiking, what's the best type of first aid kit to prepare to bring with you?
Well, it's a pretty good question, Sandra.
That's very good, yeah.
Believe it or not, I do have in my little backpack, which is a good idea to take with you, is a little day pack. You don't need a big backpack to get off the subject a little bit. A small little day pack like this, which has enough room for the essentials. And one of those essentials is your first aid kit. Underneath my rain jacket or my windbreaker would be a first aid kit next to my food.
He's got an Apple laptop in there.
There you go, for doing your work. Okay, a little first aid kit. Fortunately for me, I don't get hurt very often, so I don't need it. But you want to have a first aid kit with you at all times. Probably the basic bandages, some insect repellent, some antiseptic.
I would set it if you were there. Just
yeah, sure. There's, of course, you can't tell in there. All kinds of things. The important thing I would say with first aid is making sure that you know how to use the stuff. So you can buy a basic book on the first aid, or go to clinics on first aid and learn the basics of it. If you don't know how to use it, don't use it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for calling. What other kind?
Well,
another phone call. Lynn from Huntington. Lynn, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine. I was enjoying the program, and I just wanted to know, should you walk when you're hiking at a constant speed, or should you vary your speed, which is, you know, a better choice?
That's a good question. First of all, experience will determine what is your proper speed to hike in. Beginners tend to start off a little slower and continue at a slow rate, which is fine. And as you get more experience, you tend to walk almost like speed walkers do, almost a light jog, and walk really fast just because your muscles have toned up. But I recommend staying at a constant pace. Don't do fast start and then slow down, start, slow down, because you'll be able to go further distances at a constant pace. It's like every sport, biking, hiking, swimming, constant pace.
So you should slow down your walk at your pace toward the end of your hike, kind of cool down.
Yeah, that would be a good thing. Cool down is important if it's cold out, especially if you have the chance of getting chills or hypothermia. Obviously in Long Island you're not going to hike too far from your car, you're not going to be out in the middle of the mountains somewhere, but you still can get chills and you can get sick, so it's really important to slow yourself down but not get cold. Get into some dry clothes or into your car and get home and eat a good meal.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you, Lynn. What else do you have in the backpack there? What else should we be taking along, and how much is too much?
Well, honestly, I don't think you could take too much in Long Island because I have trouble filling this up on a Long Island hike because most of it is day hiking. You're just going for the day. You don't need a tent. You don't need a sleeping bag, stove, or anything like that.
Portable TV,
right?
VCR.
Exactly. Never go hiking without your portable TV. Basically,
cable, of course.
Right, cable. With Long Island 1 on it. Your rain jacket is probably your most important thing because when you're out there and you're 2 miles away from your car, this is just a basic rain jacket. Actually, this is a Gore-Tex jacket. I don't want to get too much into the different types of jackets. But when you're out there on the trail and you start out when it's sunny and all of a sudden in the summertime a thunderstorm comes in, you're going to get wet. And you don't want to be caught without that because it's going to ruin your hike. So you throw on your rain gear and you continue hiking. You just ignore the rain when you have a rain gear, when you have a rain jacket on. Of course, you got your first aid kit. Maybe if it's raining or if it's sunny, you want yourself a nice little
that is a
hat.
nice lid.
That's right. It is also Gore-Tex, and so it is waterproof. And
we have a call. We have Chet from Garden City has a question. Chet, are you there?
Yeah, I am Mr. Polchinski.
How are you?
What about the tick situation?
How
careful do you have to
very
be?
interesting.
Very concerned with them.
That is a big concern on Long Island, considering that, from my understanding, we have one of the worst tick or Lyme disease situation that's out there because of the overpopulation of deer. First and most importantly is to wear long clothing if you think you're going to be in a tick-infested area. Well, we lost it. But anyway, so you have the long clothing on. That's going to stop most of it. If you have shorts on and a T-shirt, you want to put on some kind of bug repellent. Or you don't have to, but it's recommended. The most popular...
Show them there.
The most popular bug repellent is using DEET now, and if you've read the paper at all in the last few weeks, you'll see that it's been making a scene, and it really keeps the ticks off, and that's the most important thing, is to keep the ticks away from you. Also, check yourself when you get home. I constantly find them on my socks and stuff, and just pick them off. If you think you've been bitten by one, go to a doctor.
Seth, thanks so much for being with us.
It was a pleasure.
That's our show for tonight. You're the expert, our first show in, and we had a great time. I'd like to thank everyone who was here tonight. Don't forget to watch Extra Help all next week, and we'll be back next Friday night with Arts and Crafts. Tom and Rick will be back. I'm Bill Polchinski. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bill, and all of the experts who came to show us what they do best. Wow. Egg creams, baklava, apple turnovers, and tomato mozzarella salad. Quite a combination. And of course, we can't forget our leisure time sports experts. Now, whenever I think of golf, I think of that Honeymooners episode, you know the one. Norton says to Ralph, "Hey, Ralphie, address the ball." And Ralph says, "Hello, ball." Anyway, thank you, everyone, for calling with your questions. Now, Monday, we'll be back with our EJs and our teachers who'll be here to review sequential math 1, 2, and 3. And in the evening, we'll have consumer affairs expert Lois Schmidt and J.J. Burns, our personal finance expert. And don't forget our toll-free number. Now, write it next to your phone or even to your TV. It's 1-800-EXT-HELP. And next to it, if you have a fax, put our fax number, 516-596-0715. You can also fax or write in your questions. I'd absolutely love to hear what you have to say. Please write to me. I'm Leon Goodman, care of Cablevision's Extra Help, 111 New South Road, Hicksville, New York, 11801. And soon, you'll be able to join us online. For Extra Help, I'm Leon Goodman. I'll see you on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Good night.